I think, for how many years now? 11 years. And he's redoing his Competent Communication manual. So today's speak will be project number 3. Get to the point. Please welcome Mike today, speaker for his speech title, Watch Out for the Curve.
How many Toastmasters ski? Do you ski?
Yes.
Do you ski? So you gotta stretch and you have to warm up a little bit. Using the manual is just like learning how to ski. Nobody's gonna take you to that top of that hill and push you down. You have to learn the skills. You have to learn how to get the right equipment. You have to learn, and I almost brought them in my big ski boots. You have to learn, you have to learn how to do that, how to put the right footing. Because if your foot's not in there snug, you're gonna get hurt. Because you will fall. There isn't a skier alive that has never fallen or made a mistake. I was just out last Friday night and I fell 3 times on 6 runs. So even I have to learn. And one of the things Joe just said about being nervous, I still get a little nervous. Those butterflies are still there. And that's the best part of it. I find Toastmasters my oasis in a busy day. I do like coming to it. This is very relaxing for me. I know it seems a little strange because getting up and talking doesn't work for a lot of people. But in the manual, we're going to show you how to put those skis on right, how to get up to the chair and start coming down. And you start learning all the curves. In the first manual, there's 10 big curves. In other manuals, there's much bigger curves because, oh, now you're on the blue or black diamond run, not just the green bunny hill anymore. The skills that you learn as Toastmasters, as I said before, I'm going to use all the best Toastmaster skills I have this afternoon because it's going to be an important meeting for me and about 3 or 4 other people. So, but learning the skills, that's what this manual is for. That's what Toastmasters is for. You're not going to learn it all at once. And just like skiing, you're going to learn at your own pace. Whether you're a fast learner and want to do a speech once a month, once every other week, you can do that. When I first went through this manual, I did about every 6 weeks. Sometimes it was 3 weeks, sometimes it was 4 weeks, but for the most part, every 6 weeks I had it in my head that I would get up there and do a speech. In the beginning of the book, there's all about the different kinds of speeches. So I would ask my mentor, and you should have a mentor, somebody that you ask Toastmaster questions. He may be a life mentor, such as Brian. Brian and I have been hanging around for 30-some years. So I asked him Toastmaster questions. I asked him, well, what does this mean? What do you think it means? How do you get your point across? That's part of what speech number 3 is. So he would suggest that take a couple of speeches, read it, and what's the first thing that comes in your head? What topic comes in the back of your head? Oh, I should do it on that. It's not necessary that you do them in order. It works best that you do, but you're not required to do them in order. For the International Speech Contest that's coming up, you should have done the first 6, although the rules say you have to do 6, so you don't have to do them in order. So last week we listened to Corinne, and that was speech number 8 because we're using visual aid, and she did very well with it. But it's those things in the speech that you work on, whether you're doing vocal variety, and I don't have to yell in this room because there is only 3 of us. Different skills of moving around. This doesn't, it's not a great room for if you have if you were gonna do your buzz, it wouldn't look as effective up here. You needed the big stage for that, and unfortunately, we're lucky to have that. But the skills that you learn through the basic manual are gonna carry over. They carry over in your work, whether you realize it or not. All your Toastmaster skills. Hank, I'm sure that when you're talking on the telephone or in a meeting, you're already saying to yourself, don't say and, don't say but, just stop. Just silence. And sometimes, and that's a very hard skill to learn, but that's why we count the ums and ahs. And that's all part of Toastmasters. But in the manual, you learn how to evaluate, and it's always positive reinforcement. When you're finished, or when I finish the speech, I want you to fill out the sheet. You tell me what you think I did right and where you think I could improve. I'm not a professional speaker. I know I can always improve. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe, hopefully I didn't offend anybody. But I read those comments and I put them in the back of my head and I save them for the next time I need to. When you're learning how to do speeches, sometimes it's good to keep just a small diary type book beside your bed or beside the couch where you sit, and you're watching the news or you're watching the movie. Oh, that's a great idea. I did a speech last year on Martin Luther King because it happened to be Martin Luther King Day, and I remembered that when I saw the news last night. I forgot that it was this special day. Because that's one of the advanced speeches, is to do somebody else's speech. So I have a dream speech. It doesn't fit into the time frame because it's about a 12-minute speech, but that's all right. We had one member in our club years ago that did the Gettysburg address. Gettysburg address is 2 minutes and 38 seconds. There's not that many words. But the person expounded on it at the beginning and explained the historical significance of it, why Lincoln was in Gettysburg, why the other presenter talked for over an hour, but then the actual oration took a couple of minutes. So you go through all these manuals, you get comfortable up here. As I said, I get a little bit nervous. But it's a good nervous. That means that I'm not being stale, or in my mind I'm not being stale. And I've got the energy that, yes, I want to get up there and I want to give a speech. And hopefully it's going to be a good speech. There are different ways to do speeches. I do mine in point form so that I have a basic general idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
But you can either type them out, write them out. You can do that mind map that we've shown every once in a while. But you never start at the beginning, okay, this is once upon a time type thing. You get your idea and then you start formulating, what am I going to talk about? How am I going to get through it? And then you start lining up all your ideas. And they're all curves. And sooner or later, you come to the bottom of the hill and you can relax. And you get on that chairlift, because when you're skiing, that's your oasis back up to the hill. Mr. Toastmaster.